Hey team, this is the Suzuki Evitara. This is the all-wheel drive version that we've got today, and I am going to take it for a drive and let you know what it's like. I'm also going to point out something that's really going to bug you. Now, I'm not sure if you remember this, but at the tail end of last year, I flew out to Milan to an ice rink to have a first look at this car. So there is a full walk-around video if you want to have a look at that. Just click on the link up there. I'll be honest, I wasn't particularly excited about it. I'm hoping that driving it today might entice me to like it a little bit more. But here's the thing, right? Suzuki are good at rugged. They're good at rugged off-roading. They've got 55 years experience of off-roading. I mean, we all love a Jimny, right? It's one of the greatest cars ever, one of the best off-roaders I think I've ever driven. So why didn't they do that? Why didn't they do an electric Jimny? Why did they go for the Vitara? I'll tell you why. Yeah. Same. Glasses? Whoa. Yeah, same. Toyota Urban Cruiser, same. Different badges. Money saving. Anyway, the Evitara is just under 4.3 metres long, which basically makes it a rival for cars from the Jeep Avenger up to the Hyundai Kona, the Ford Puma, up to the more pricier EV3 or the Skoda Elroq, etc. There's the choice of a 49 or 61 kilowatt-hour LFP battery that will offer a WLTP range of up to 267 miles, while the smaller battery has 214. There'll be a variety of power outputs as well. The smaller battery front-wheel drive Evitara will get 142 horsepower, while you'll be able to get the bigger battery with either front or four-wheel drive with 172 or 181 brake horsepower respectively. It's quite low. So it's, hold on, that's 185 millimetres, which actually, for an off-roady car, it's not very good ground clearance. I mean, it's higher than a Puma, but it's still technically lower than a Jeep Avenger. Now, the Jeep Avenger is front-wheel drive only, so that's technically not an off-roader. This is all-wheel drive, and it is an off-roader, but it's closer to the floor. So maybe gravel and snow is your friend in this kind of thing. Not like a proper off-roader like a Toyota BZ4X or a Solterra, for example, but they're bigger, a bit more expensive. But that's, yeah, if you go proper off-roading, you're going to bottom out in that, I reckon. Yeah. Charging-wise, it gets a bit confusing. So basically they've said that it will peak at 150 kilowatts, but also the charging time from 15 to 70% will take 30 minutes. Now that suggests that it's actually slower than 150 kilowatts. So maybe they just had one moment where it peaked at 150 and they went, yeah, nailed it. But I think it will charge much slower than that. The big advantage that you will get is a 10-year warranty. They are confident. Now, normal cars, just on the battery, you'll get around 8 years, but this is 10 years on not just the battery, but the whole car. You'll need to get the services done at a Suzuki dealer, but that's hopefully a small price to pay. Okay, there's a couple of things in this interior that I desperately need to point out to you that might end up bugging you if you like things symmetrical. Now, I have done a proper walk around, like I said before. So the version that I looked at when I was in Milan had the nice brown interior, which I really liked. But you can only get that if you get the white car or the green car. But because we've got red today, we've just got black. So it makes it look a bit more basic. Should we go basic? I quite like the vertical air vents. Is that it? Is that all that I like in here? There's different materials. Different versions of plastic, different kind of plastic, gloss black plastic. Let me just explain price-wise, right? So in terms of its competitors, we're talking like the 2008, the EV3, the Ford Puma, the Fiat 600, the Mocha, the Avenger, etc. We don't have a price on this car. But we have been told it will be around that. So we can probably expect maybe late 20s into early 30,000s. That's what we're kind of expecting. I need it to be lower. I need it to be of that lower ilk, because when you think of the Ford Puma, for example, out of all of that lineup, that's the one that starts at the cheapest. That starts at around 29 grand. I need this to be cheaper than that. And then I think it will work. Because in terms of what you're getting and in terms of what it looks like and what it feels like, I reckon it needs to be at the lower end for this to do pretty well. Allow me to point out the bits that are going to annoy you. You've got a 10.25 inch screen here, right, which is your infotainment screen. That's where you can access all of your music and your vehicle information. Is it working? Vehicle information. Oh, you've got to give it... It's a prototype car. You've got to be patient with it. I know I have to be patient with it. It's a bit laggy. It'll be fine when it's ready to come out, I'm sure. But this is where all of your home information and stuff is, etc. And then you've got a random bit of glass here before you then see your driver information. Now, as I sit here, I can see down to here, but I can also see all the way up to here. So all I can see here is just a blank strip of nothing. And then a black chunk of nothing. I mean, that's literally wider than my phone. So that bugs me a little bit. That kind of, at least kind of maybe try and fit the design in with it, or extend the screens a little bit so it just looks a little bit neater on the eye. The other one is this section here. This is off center, and that is really annoying. If that was like here, that would work better. If that vent was just there, and then that was a bit more hit, and then that was there, then we'd be in line with the center console. When you spot it from the back seats, it's even more irritating because it's really off center and it's a bit annoying. And now I can see it, I can't unsee it. And it didn't bug me earlier until Manos pointed it out, and now he's ruined my day because it's all I can see. But you do get physical buttons for climate controls. Yes, we do love to see that, and for your volume, etc. Lovely, we love that. You do get wireless charging if you go for the bigger battery, higher spec version. And then storage wise, a couple of cup holders, bit of space down there, bit of space in there for, I don't know what you'd put in there, wrappers. Door bins are okay, little bit of space in there. Can I just point out, someone had a go at me recently about pointing out the fact that this is technically storage, but it is. I know it's a handle, but sometimes handles go all the way through and you can't put things in it. When it's got a little shelf at the bottom, it's technically storage. So yes, there is storage there. It's not as bright as you would want it to be because it's not a full panny roof. It's just a sunroof, this section here, and it doesn't open. And this is also manual. In the Puma you get a panny roof. Just a few little budget cut moments, I think. These are all physical buttons, by the way, so you can actually press them. Pressing. Press. I like that. I love a button. I love an actual physical button. I don't love a gloss black button. That's going to be it's already fingerprinty. Fingerprints everywhere. But I love a button. I love a twiddly knob. Like that. Let's have a look at the back. Rear seats. So, back here, legroom wise, fairly decent. That's set up for my driving position. I'm 5'6.5" or 169 centimetres, for those of you asking for my height in centimetres. I've got decent legroom there. It's just weird how the floor feels quite high. If you are of the longer legged variety, you might feel like your knees are at your tits, is the only way to explain it. It feels quite high up. You know, like if you're wearing really tight jeans and you sit down, that's not going to be very comfortable back here. There's also not a pocket behind this thing. There's one there, but there isn't one here. Why is that? That's weird. That's weird, that. And then you've got like a bit of something in there, a bit of storage in there, and then a couple of, what's that? A USB and a USB-C. Nothing pulls down here.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't. Why are you lying? Wait, let me figure it out. Well, no, it just...
It does.
No, that just opens up like...
And?
Ah! That's weird, isn't it? So to open up your cup holders, you're going to also get access to the boot. That's quite strange, isn't it? Because really you would just have like a normal pulley down bit for your armrest.
Yeah, but it costs more.
It costs more. That makes sense. That's quite strange, that. Anyway, the seats fold 40-20-40, just in case you were wondering. And you can do this. Let's talk boot space. Now, if you have the seats all the way back, you've got 238 litres of boot space back there, which is reasonably small. However, if you do that and you give up your legroom and you move these forward as well, that goes up to 306 litres of space, which is technically bigger than an Avenger, smaller than a Fiat 600e, way smaller than a Ford Puma. I mean, a Ford Puma's got like 574 litres if you include the Gigabox underneath. So boot space-wise, quite diddy, but there's a little bit underneath the boot floor to put your charging cables because there's no frunk. Because, and I quote, "We don't see the point," is what they said, which I kind of understand. I've been driving electric for a few years now and I've never used a frunk. I know that Manos does, but I never use the frunk. Do you use your frunk? Let us know in the comment section below. But that's really annoyed me, this. Why would you do it like that? Because if you've got loads of stuff in the boot, you can just see what's in the boot and it just doesn't make it neat.
This video is brought to you with Andersen EV, the UK's most awarded home charge point brand of 2024. Offering over 200 colour and finish options, a market-leading 7-year warranty and a unique hidden tethered cable.
In terms of power, it's not particularly powerful, but it will do 0 to 62 in 7.4 seconds if you go for the all-wheel drive version. If you go for the two-wheel drive, it's around 9.6 seconds, so it's not knock your socks off quick, but it will get you there. Range-wise is quite interesting. Now, if you go for this, the all-wheel drive version, you've got a 61 kilowatt-hour battery. It will do about 246 miles of range. If you go for the two-wheel drive version, you've got 267 miles worth of range. Now, I'm trying to compare that to some rivals, and I know that the Puma will go further. The Puma is actually more efficient than this. So they're claiming that this will do around 3.7, 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour, which isn't the best. Now, if you were to compare the Puma to this, right, this will do, on the two-wheel drive, 4.2 miles per kilowatt hour, whereas the Puma will do 4.7. So there is some maths involved here. So say, for example, you're driving 10,000 miles a year and you're charging at home for 25p a kilowatt hour. You're actually spending an extra £126 to drive this. Interesting. In terms of how it drives, it's okay, there's quite a bit of road noise. And the steering feels like you've got to turn the wheel further than you think you do to go around corners. Oh, yeah, it's okay. But this isn't the kind of car that you want to throw around anyway, but it's all right. It is just a bit noisy. There's a lot of noise coming from the tyres. And a lot of noise coming from overhead. I'm wondering if that's just because this is all just a bit on the cheap side. But it does feel quite loud. You'll have to really turn the radio up in this. I think that's the only way. So this car I'm actually driving right now is a full prototype. This isn't actually road legal. That's why we're at an official testing track. We're at Millbrook Proving Ground. And at the moment, I have to have a guy called Mike sat on the back seat so that he can sit with me because we have to be supervised while we're driving. So Mike, actually, this is great. What's it like as a passenger back there? Are you feeling a bit sick or are you all right?
I'm absolutely fine. And bearing in mind I'm 6'3", I've got loads of leg room.
He's 6'3" and absolutely fine. There we go. Well, that's a positive. So if you've got tiny little kiddies, they'll be more than happy back there. And not feeling sick, hopefully, Mike. I hope you're all right back there.
I'm fine, thank you.
I want to see if we can have a little go on the different drive modes. What we got here? If I press the button, is it doing anything? Oh, eco. Oh, sport mode. Right. Ba-boom. That's all right. That's all right. Oh, pheasant. Oh, I missed it. We're good. He's alive. He's alive. Brakes work.
ABS worked.
Ooh, that was a close call. Right, now let's pop it back in eco mode. There we go. So that'll give you a little bit more range, etc., which you're probably going to need in this car because it doesn't seem like it's going to get you very far. And then you've got normal mode where everything just goes blank. Fine, perfectly fine. Then you've got the trail button. That is the button you want to use if you want to take it off-road. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is not exactly the highest vehicle, so I don't think you really want to take it on proper rutted terrain, but if you've got like a muddy field or a bit of snow, bit of gravel, that's where I think this car will really shine. That's what I think Suzuki is pretty good at. One pedal driving? No, I can't seem to find it. There is a button here that I believe would be for the regen braking. Yes, it is. You can feel it. Do we come to a complete stop? Oh, oh! Yes, we do! Yes! One pedal driving. Marvellous. Now, I have been told that there are actually 3 levels of regen braking within this car, but you have to access it all through a menu that's on the screen, which is a tad frustrating. So you have to go to settings. No, vehicle. Give it a minute. Yeah. EV. Regeneration boost. Yeah. And then you've got different levels. So you can go, oh, I can't do it while I'm driving.
No.
Are you kidding me?
I forgot to tell you that.
Mike, you didn't tell me this.
Sorry.
Right, so if you want to change your levels of regen braking, you're going to have to stop and change it every time. But you do have low, medium and high. I've currently got it set on high, which is why when I press that button down here and I lift off the accelerator, it will come down to a complete stop and it feels a bit more forceful, I guess. I'm going to have to, I can't stop on this route to change it. Oh, that would really bug me. Because I quite like it when a car's got flappy paddles or different levels that you can actually properly ride while you're driving, because sometimes if you're stuck in traffic or if you're kind of leading up to potential traffic, you want to chop and change things, but you can't do that while you're moving. So that's a bit irritating. I wonder if they can change that with a software update. That'd be good. I mean, it basically drives exactly the same as the Urban Cruiser because it is exactly the same car. But visibility is pretty good. Loads of windows, see right out the back. I can see Mike out the back having a wonderful time. This steering wheel feels pretty big for a car of this size. Could probably be a little bit smaller and you might feel the urge to chuck it a little bit more. And there is a bit of body roll in the corners. Yeah, there's quite a bit of body roll there. It's a bit of a hefty car, isn't it, really, for a car of this size? And there is roll there. All in all, I'd say it's fine. It's perfectly fine. The thing is this car shines because of its off-roading ability and its all-grip ability. That's what it's known for the all-grip E. So if you were to go for the two-wheel drive version, what makes that stand out? I don't know. You might as well go for a Ford Puma or something like that, or even an Avenger. I don't really know what I was expecting. I mean, when I walked around it last year, I was like, it's okay, it looks perfectly fine. I mean, clearly Suzuki have left it very, very last minute to release an EV, but this really needs to kind of really impress me to make me very happy about this car. And has it really impressed me? Not really. But I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's fine. I don't like those indicators. It's too ticky. It's a tricky one, this, because I love Suzuki as a brand. I'm a big fan of the Jimny. I love a Swift. Evitara has always been the normal Vitara has always been a meh kind of car for me. So making this their choice of their first EV, I think is a bit of a meh. And it's really hard to judge it until I know the price. If this is early mid-20s, okay, I would go, yeah, fine, decent. If this touches 30 grand, no, it can't. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. We should know pricing by the end of May, so watch this space. I'm going to try my best to like it and hope for early 20s. Ooh, see you next time.